So I kind of lied a little bit. The horror engine isn't exactly like an engine, it's more of a Godot template that we use here at Runic Studios for essentially the base plate of our projects. And in this video, what I want to do is kind of show off some of its features. I'm Isaac Brooks, the co-founder and current CEO of Runic Studios, and welcome to Devlog 1 of Facility 43. For Facility 43, for the control of the player, we've gone for a state machine driven approach. So if you don't know what a state machine is, I'm not going to get too into detail. I'll leave a video in the description explaining what those are. But essentially, we have what's known as a base state, which then inside of that we have what's called substates. So essentially these are children of the main state. So obviously that would be the standing idle, standing walk, the standing sprint. And all of those are accessible whilst the player is in that standing state. And then if we go into the crouch state, we then have the crouch walk, crouch idle available to us. And it allows us to go sort of a level deeper with the amount of control that we have on the player in certain situations. So the only thing that's not a part of the state machine is the character's leaning. So the way we've implemented that is just by, if you press either Q or E, the player will go left or right. And we've made it so it can detect walls and stuff like that, so your head can't just phase through a fucking door or some shit. So the main attraction that we have with the horror engine is not exactly the player movement, but still thought I'd cover it anyway. But it's more to do with the physics and physical-based interaction system. So the first thing that we've got is obviously these grabbable objects. You can pick them up, rotate them, like inspect them and stuff like that, and throw them. But what sets them apart is their weights. So the heavier they get, obviously the slower you will move in the game. So trying to carry a heavy object will have its pros and cons in some senses, because sure, it might be able to block a door a bit more, but do you really want to waste that time trying to carry it all the way across at a slower move speed whilst, say, something is chasing you? So then obviously with grabbable objects, we have its sibling, the draggable object, which, I'm gonna be honest, these are a little bit rough around the edges right now. I'm still trying to polish it out. So depending on how things go, there may be a fair few interactions with draggable objects, or there may only be the odd couple. But essentially, they kind of work the similar way to the grabbable objects, where the heavier they are, the slower you move and stuff like that. So the next thing, a part of the horror engine, is every developer's worst nightmare is doors. So the way doors work in this is you can use your mouse and also like your move speed to open the door, which allows you as the player to kind of have a bit more control over how you want to approach going from room to room. So you can open the door as fast or as slow as you want, as much or as little, and then say combining that with the lean mechanic that you've got, you could creep open the door just a little bit and kind of lean round, try and have a look, see what's there. And then because it's physics-based, I've taken this block and I've just put it in front of the door, which now prevents the door from being opened because of, obviously, physics. Like, that's just how it works, which is that emergent gameplay that I was talking about. So say you're being chased by the monster, and then, oh look, there just so happens to be a block that you can put in front of the door to try and stop it from getting in front of you. There's two things, a door and a block, two independent systems that can work together to create a new output, and it's fucking beautiful when that shit happens. So the next bit that we've got is buttons. So we've got 3 different types of buttons. I know, I'm fucking treating us great. So the first one is a general toggle button. You turn it off. No, you turn it on and then you turn it off. The other one that we've got is a hold button, so the longer you hold it, it will stay active, and as soon as you let go, it will deactivate. And then the final one is a timed one, so that will allow us to do like timed-based button puzzles. So for example, you press a button and a door somewhere unlocks, and you've got a certain amount of time before it relocks. Quite a few implementations that we can do with that, which is quite good for only a few selections of buttons. But just next to it, we have the Turnwheel. So this one, essentially, when you interact with it, you have to spin your mouse in a circle, almost as if you are turning that turnwheel or valve. And so on this first one that we've got that I'm showing you is, if I let go, it will remain where it is. Obviously, when it gets to its maximum amount, it will kind of lock itself that way. But you can rotate it backwards and stuff like that. And then on the one that I'm showing now is a more timed-based one. So once I let go, you can see it kind of goes backwards, and all of this is fully customizable, from how much it rotates to how fast it goes back and stuff like that. So there's a lot of implementations that we can do for puzzles in it, and I'm really fucking excited for this. So of course this devlog wasn't as in-depth as I could go, mostly because I'm still trying to put feelers out there of how in-depth people want me to go with like the systems and mechanics that we've got, in terms of like the actual design aspects of things or code-wise. So please do let me know how you would like me to present these a bit more. But other than that, if you've enjoyed this devlog, please do subscribe, as it does help us out a lot. Follow us on Blue Sky for some more development footage as it kind of happens. And if you really want to do support us and the project directly, do check out our Patreon. All links will be in the description. Thanks, and I'll see you in a bit.